WCBI News at 10 starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Lee County. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Quentin Smith. A student faces charges in connection with a supposed hit list targeting Nettleton students. The student claimed to have seen the list has changed his story and now admits the list and everything he claimed to have seen was a lie. Sheriff Jim Johnson says the juvenile was arrested on Tuesday. This is the second person charged in connection to the February 19th incident. School safety was an issue of debate at the state capitol today as lawmakers approached deadline day. How to pay for schools and how to protect them took center stage. Courtney Ann Jackson explains.
A bill about who could conceal carry and why was in senators' hands Tuesday. Given the recent school shootings, they moved to amend that bill and create a path for armed teachers.
At the end of the day, we believe the best defense from someone that has a weapon, that is trying to do harm to innocent people, is for innocent people who are law-abiding citizens to have weapons also.
Under the amendment, it would be a school's choice. Teachers and other school employees would have to receive 12 hours of training every 2 years from the Department of Public Safety. But not everyone thinks more guns is the answer.
I don't think there's a legislative will here to do the right thing regarding making our schools more safe and not allowing guns on our campuses.
The state already provides matching funds for schools to hire trained officers. And it was standing room only in the Senate Education Committee. Their only item on the agenda, a rewrite of the school funding formula.
Creates a new method for funding schools in Mississippi.
Supporters say it's a more simplistic formula that they call student-centered.
It increases funding for 107 out of 142 school districts. I think going forward, the fact that people have confidence in it will make a lot of difference, and you have those accountability provisions to make sure the school districts are spending it in a way that it helps students.
Opponents say the problem isn't the current formula.
I think the people have lost confidence in us.
Some members spoke about the concern that schools would get less than if the current formula was fully funded.
If Ed bill is not funded, it's going to fall by the wayside the way we allowed MAEP.
And with this,
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. No. That'll be reported.
The bill moves to the full Senate.
Now, the bills could potentially go to conference. That's when members of the House and Senate meet to find a compromise on bills that undergo changes in the other chambers. However, that would not take place until late next month. Patients of a Columbus doctor are pushing back against Baptist Golden Triangle's decision to revoke his labor and delivery privileges at the hospital. Today, a group gathered outside the hospital after Dr. James Holzhauer informed them of the hospital's decision in a letter. Now, the women say they're upset over the decision and want the doctor to know they're behind him.
We're here today to show our support to Dr. James Leonard Holzhauer, whose delivering privileges were removed from the Baptist Hospital. We feel that it was an unfair justice to him as well as the rest of his patients, and we want our voices to be heard. He's number one in our eyes. He's done a lot for us. I'm alive today because of him, and I'm here to show my support back to him.
Baptist Golden Triangle released a statement that reads, in part, "We understand the concerns of Dr. Holzhauer's patients, and we've talked to some of them about their labor and delivery options." And it's now time to turn our attention over to weather. Meteorologist Amanda Reynolds is standing by with a first look at our forecast. Amanda?
Well, we already have some rain pushing into the region from the southwest to northeast. And if you look back to the northwest, that's where the heavier rain has been and will continue to be. And that's been a story over the last few weeks. But notice that bulk of rain going to continue to push off to the northeast through the overnight hours tonight and into tomorrow morning. Because of that, a flood watch in effect for much of North Mississippi, where they've seen already those flooding rains. As we go forward through the rest of this evening, though, we'll continue to see those rain and storms for the next few days and that flooding risk possible. But as we go into the weekend, looking very nice, very pleasant. More details on that in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Amanda. A natural disaster can leave a community devastated, oftentimes with the loss of homes and precious memories. Our Victoria Bailey shows us how the aftermath of a tornado in Chickasaw County made one group more determined than ever to get prepared.
that's just my heart, just to be a volunteer, just to help in any way I can, you know, whether it's whatever.
In 2011, a tornado tore through Chickasaw and surrounding counties, leaving a path of destruction. But for one group of men, the devastation they saw inspired them to find a way to help. That's how BERT was born. It stands for Brotherhood Emergency Response Team.
We didn't know where to start, so we started by getting some disaster relief training through the Baptist Disaster Relief. And from the training, we got some more information about the things we would possibly need and the kind of disasters we could be looking at in our area.
Through the training, the group learned the value of being proactive so they would be ready the next time. The group raised $9,500 to fund the purchase of life-saving materials through dinner plate sales and community donations.
By raising that money, we were able to go ahead and purchase a new trailer and got our lettering on it, and now we have purchased the equipment to go in it. It will always be something that we will keep adding equipment as we see a need for it. But we've basically got enough stuff now that if we had a disaster with a tree in the road, we could move the tree.
BERT Vice President Frank Thompson says the group getting ahead of the curve will make sure they're always ready.
There's always going to be a need for preparedness, and I think something preventive, if you can be preventive and when that time comes, you're prepared. You don't have to scramble and get out, whatever's going on may have already happened and you're not able to do anything, but if you're prepared before that time, then you're ready to go.
Linda Griffin, Chickasaw County EMA Director, says the more help, the better.
When we have, natural disasters, weather-related, it's countywide, it overwhelms our resources quickly. And with a volunteer group like this, it's music to emergency management directors' ears to know you got volunteers who are also trained and have the equipment to supplement your emergency response.
That was our Victoria Bailey reporting there. Now, if you would like to get involved with the BERT organization, just visit our website at WCBI.com. The Monroe County Chamber of Commerce celebrates its members at its annual luncheon today. The group is celebrating 20 years since the merger of the county and city chambers. Political leaders, along with economic and community developers, came out to the lunch. The chamber's executive director says the event is important for the community.
Bringing everybody together and the small businesses being able to talk to our industries, our education partners are here, MDA, TVA, NMIDA, Three Rivers, all those partners are here, and a lot of times these people don't get to interact even though they do business together. So it's important for us to come together once a year, thank our membership, and be able to celebrate our successes.
Balk says membership is at an all-time high with 250 members.
Well, it's severe weather season once again, and that means another weather radio event. Jacob Dickey and I will be up in Amory tomorrow at the Walgreens from 4 to 6 p.m. There's more details on our Facebook and Twitter pages. More details on your forecast right after the break.
Your first alert forecast with meteorologist Amanda Reynolds.
I feel like every day I come on here and there's another batch of rain. Well, today is no exception here. Notice the rain moving in off to the northeast, the heavier rain back to the northwest, so impacting Corinth, Boonville, Oxford, and back towards Grenada. So that's where the heavy rain has been, and that's where it's going to continue to be over the next few days. Here's that batch of rain you can see stretching now into parts of Alabama through North Mississippi, West Tennessee, and back into Arkansas as well. So again, this is the first batch of rain. There will be another batch of rain as we go forward through tomorrow night and Thursday. But again, right now you can see most everybody reporting those rain showers. You can see a few raindrops on our camera over downtown Tupelo, but temperatures right now hanging just in the upper 50s and low 60s, and that's pretty much where we're going to stay, in the mid to upper 50s tonight. Again, those showers and storms going to continue. There could be some locally heavy rain, especially the further north and west you go. We'll keep those southerly winds fairly strong, and they'll linger through the day tomorrow as well. Tomorrow, by the time we get to the early morning hours, the heavy rain will start to dissipate, but then blink and there will be more rain, heavy rain, by the time we get to the late afternoon and through the overnight hours. We'll be again up into the 70s, so fairly warm, but again, we will be dealing with that rain. So again, notice this disturbance moves off to the north through the overnight hours. We'll be left with some showers through around noon tomorrow, but then another batch of rain moves through, especially for parts of extreme north Mississippi, but then more showers and storms will move through the day. And once we get through, say, Thursday mid-afternoon, we should actually clear out the rain as well as the clouds and maybe even see a little bit of sunshine. So as far as the rain potential, we could see another good dose of rain. So just through tomorrow afternoon, we could see that first batch of rain upwards of a few inches further to the north, less or so down here into the Golden Triangle, but the next batch of showers is going to bring a good bit of rain, so at least a half an inch for pretty much everyone. But the further north and you go, so maybe north of Tupelo, could see 2, 3, 4, even 5 inches of rain in some areas, and much of North Mississippi has already been plagued with flood concerns. And so flooding going to be another issue with this storm as well. That's going to be the main risk. Not really looking at too much of severe weather. The threat going to be well off to our north and west. But there is, in fact, a flood watch for pretty much all of North Mississippi that goes through Thursday at noon. So that's when the rain should start to taper off. That's when that flood watch will expire. But once we can get if we can get through those rain and showers tomorrow and Thursday, we'll actually be in for a pretty nice weekend. We'll be in the mid and upper 60s for both Saturday and sunshine, and we'll see plenty of sunshine.
When we come back, some area students learn how to shape their future by listening to a story of the past. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. The Boys and Girls Club of Columbus held its Black History Month program tonight. Rise Up into Legacy was the theme for tonight's program. A guest speaker recited poems for the kids, and afterwards, everyone had the chance to put their artistic skills to the test by creating a banner of different influential people in Black history.
So we wanted this to actually be a motivation to them for whatever challenges that they might be facing, for them to rise up and rise above it and accomplish whatever they have set in front of them.
Organizers say the posters will stay on display for the rest of the school year to serve as inspiration to all of the kids. An author and community leader is encouraging high school students to put aside differences and look at what unites them and to work together for everyone's benefit. Our Allie Martin has more.
Students and teachers were inspired by music and the message.
But whatever you have done to get to this point has been valuable.
Create Foundation Executive Juanita Floyd recalled the integration of Union County schools, which serves as the background for her new book, The Summer of 1969.
My story is I made it because I had a mother who said, you've got to love. You can't hate. Even if some of those kids call you names and vicious names, you can't hate. You must love. And so my story turned out differently than some of the others who went through integration.
Floyd recounted how she graduated from high school, college, and went on to become a success with hard work, determination, and the help of many people. She told the students it's important for them to realize they are not limited by circumstances outside of their control.
It doesn't matter your color, your race, your creed. It doesn't matter your socio-economic status, whether you're rich or poor. I fell into all of those categories. I was black, I'm a woman, I was poor growing up. I grew up in a single-parent household because my father died when I was young. So what I hope that they understood was that you can make it. There are no excuses not to make it.
Students and adults say Floyd's story shows the importance of treating others right and putting differences aside.
In her speech, she said that we should all just love each other. So coming from that, I think we should all just love each other.
You just really have to strive for success. You have to keep going. That everybody kind of helps you get there, but you're the main person who's going to do that for yourself.
If you're looking for good people, if you're looking for advocates for anything you're trying to do, if you look hard enough, you can still find them.
Floyd's book has been placed in schools throughout northeast Mississippi. In Tupelo, I'm Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Coming up tonight, a prove-it game for the Mississippi State in their quest to make the NCAA tournament. Highlights of the Bulldogs and the Volunteers next in sports.
Here's WCBI Sports with Robbie Donahoe.
Tonight was tourney test time for Mississippi State. The Bulldogs have won 7 of their last 9. They've started to put together a resume worthy of the tournament, NCAA tournament that is. For all intents and purposes, tonight could have been viewed as a play-in game for MSU to break into the big dance. The Bulldogs back in the hunt for their final home game of the regular season, facing 16th ranked Tennessee. And early on for Mississippi State, Eric Holman forcing a steal and getting things out in front. Bulldogs made a lot of their work in the first half on the fast break. Here's an easy bucket for Quindary Weatherspoon. That too gives the Bulldogs an early lead. More from MSU again coming in transition. Nick Weatherspoon, Lamar Peters, 1-2. No! Eric Holman with the follow slam. That's pretty nice. State had a 25-17 lead halfway through the first half. Then Tennessee would go on a 10-0 run. Here's Lamonte Turner to give the Volunteers the lead, 27-25. Back comes MSU. Shot fake, three-pointer, Quindary Weatherspoon, pure. Bulldogs go back in front. MSU really had an answer to that Tennessee run throughout that entire first half. Here's Lamar Peters going right past Turner, up and under. Nice finish at the rim. And then more work in transition for the Bulldogs. Peters going to find Quindary Weatherspoon. This is a grown man finish right there with 2 hands. And then right before the half, Tennessee would take the lead into the break, but this drive and finish from Nick Weatherspoon would certainly help going into the locker room. The Bulldogs trailed 40-34 at the break. Second half, State trailing by 4. Vic Schaefer's like, okay, let's get going, the Bulldogs. They really struggle on the backboards in the second half. This guy, Admiral Schofield, he's built like a truck. He had 24.7 rebounds in that putback. Here's Nick Weatherspoon basket plus the foul, but it was all Volunteers. They, at one point, had 11 straight field goals. State's 3-game win streak is snapped. They fall 76-54. It was a humbling defeat for MSU at the hands of the Volunteers.
We just had a lot of breakdowns on defense in the second half. I mean, we didn't feel like we did the first 5 or 10 minutes of the ball game. We just, I don't know what happened. We had a lot of breakdown defense in the second half.
They beat us handily, and we've got to learn from it. I mean, you learn by watching the film. You learn by everybody looking inward what we could do better, and we bounce back. And that's what you always do in the face of adversity in life and in basketball.
So at this point, the Bulldogs bubble pretty much has burst. They're going to have to win the SEC tournament to make it into the NCAA tournament more than likely now. But March Madness, crazier things can happen, but we'll sort of put it that as of now. Now, SEC women's basketball came out with their AP All-SEC awards. Vic Schaefer, Coach of the Year. Tierra McCowan, Co-Defensive Player of the Year with Asia Wilson. Scholar Athlete of the Year was Blair Schaefer. And then all SEC teams, unanimous first-teamers, Victoria Vivians, Tierra McCowan, second-teamer Morgan William, and Promise Taylor, the lone rep from the Rebels. She was on the all-freshman team. On down to Clinton, AAA state champs from Heritage Academy facing Simpson Academy in their MAIS overall state tourney opener. This is not a bad start to get things going. Eli Acker, easy basket at the rim, giving the Patriots the lead. And later, Dante Gray going to come up with the steal, and he's going to turn that steal as he gets away from the official. Finishes with the left hand at the rim. Heritage now up 7-2, and then they're working it around the zone. And how do you defeat a zone? Get it to the middle, and that's where Jarrett Long is. Free throw line jumper is good, and then seconds before the end of the first quarter, here's more Dante Gray. He's been having these heroics towards the end of the buzzer before quarters. He gets that one to go. Heritage wins it over Simpson Academy, 70-55, as they advance to play Marshall Academy tomorrow at 4:30. To baseball, Ole Miss aiming to stay perfect, hosting Murray State in a midweek, and Rebels trailed 4-1 in the 5th. Bases loaded for Thomas Dillard. It's a fair ball. That would clear the bases. Nick Fortes, though, we're at his PF Flyers, and he's going to get in safely under the tag. Rebels take a 5-4 lead after 5. That was when the rain started to come down. The Rebels trailed 6-5 in the 8th. Ryan Olenek going to deliver with a man on second, pushing one into left. That would score Greg Kessinger. We are tied at 6 as we go into the 9th. Now, bottom 9, bases loaded, 1 out. Anthony Servideo at the plate. Wild pitch. Thomas Dillard on his horse from third. He slides in safely as the Rebels remain perfect, winning 7-6 over Murray State in a thriller. So Ole Miss is now 8-0 on this season. Well, speaking of being up in Oxford, Ole Miss finished the tumultuous 2017 football season on a high note. The Rebels brought the Golden Egg back home. Interim tag is off of Matt Luke, and Ole Miss focused on improving and getting better for 2018. Today, the Rebels were back on the practice field for the first spring practice of the 2018 spring calendar. Ole Miss hosts the Grove Bowl on Saturday, April 7th. Up until then, Coach Luke and the Rebels will focus on building an offense that has the potential to unleash on opponents with guys like A.J. Brown, and a defense that has to build up experience. Now, the focus will be all on personnel for Ole Miss during this spring. Jordan Ta'amu back. We'll keep an eye on Matt Corral, true freshman that may get some work in early, but Ole Miss is eager to build off of how last season ended.
Our culture really improved from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, so we just want to keep building on that, building on the positive momentum of the Egg Bowl, and just keep building on that culture. But really excited. In the spring, you want to think about players, not plays. We really want to focus on these young guys getting better. There's such a fine line between winning and losing football games in the Southeastern Conference. And the culture of your team and the discipline and the environment that you create and the mentality of your team when you're playing close football games, to me, that's the secret sauce. That's the secret ingredient, the mental toughness, the little things it takes to win games. And I just think that's important.
Keep an eye on Armani Linton switching from safety to running back for Ole Miss this offseason. That's it for sports. We'll get a last look at your forecast next.
More rain and storms for tomorrow as well as Thursday. Tomorrow going to be fairly warm in the mid-70s, but if we can hang on through the rain, our reward is a beautiful, picture-perfect weekend. We'll be back in the 60s. We'll have plenty of sunshine.
I like that. So no more cold weather?
Not for now.
I'm in for it. I'm in for it. Have a good night, everyone.